All right, ladies and gents, welcome again. We're back again with another interview. This one is with Lewis. Bro, how are you?
Yeah, all good.
Solid, man. For everybody, for some context, how did you come across my content, man?
So I was at work one day. So just for a bit of a background, I used to work in construction, and I was at work one day on my lunch break, and I just thought, like, what am I doing here? I need something else. So I typed in online, what can I do to work remotely? And then it popped up like high ticket sales and appointment setting, and it popped up. It was actually a video from Matt. So he's one of the guys on the team, Matt Jacob. So it's one of his videos on YouTube, and I watched that, and then I reached out to Matt through that, and then that was how I kind of got introduced to your network and yourself.
Nice. And for now, and let's get straight to the point, man. What are you currently doing? What offer are you in? And what are the peak months have you had so far?
So the offer I'm on at the minute is like the first solid offer that I've been on. I joined, so we're currently in April. I joined the offer right at the beginning of January, well, end of December last year, beginning of January. It's a fitness offer, and I'm just running the DMs for the guy that runs the fitness offer.
Nice.
And each consecutive month, like the Instagram account that I'm running for him is growing each month, and we keep breaking the previous month's record as well in terms of cash collected.
Nice.
January, I've got it written up here on my whiteboard actually. So January, I hit 1.25K.
Nice.
February was 2.4.
Nice.
And then last month, it ended up at just short of 3.5. It's 3.470.
Okay.
3,470. 3.5 pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
go
nice.
on, I'll give it 3.5. I'll take that.
Got you.
And then this month I'm already sat at like 1K for this month.
Okay,
so eight days in, so hopefully
nice.
Hopefully be hitting a 4K month this month, but we'll wait and see on that one.
100%, man. So it seems like every month it's just been doubling and increasing at least like 20-30%, right? And in terms of that, how did you get the offer?
So this particular offer was actually through the opportunities channel on within your community and a Renaissance closer. So I think you posted it actually.
Yeah.
I think you posted the offer and just said, reach out to this guy, tell him Elijah sent you and see how you get on. So I was one of a few that reached out and connected with this guy, arranged a quick interview. I spoke to him a couple of times, and then he gave me a 2-week trial. And after a week, he said, the trial's finished. You're on the team. So, and that was, at the end of December, beginning of January. So
I'm glad that you kept at it as well. And, for you, what were you doing before? Because you said you were doing construction, and what made you, get into high ticket sales? And that put some context there.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the UK. I live in France now, and I've been here for 6 years this year.
Nice.
So basically, when I left school, I went into construction, bricklaying. I got a bricklaying apprenticeship, done all my qualifications, and I'd done that for like 20 plus years. When I moved to France, I carried on construction because that was all I knew. And basically, it's not the same type of construction out here. So everything that I'd learned at school was kind of like everything I'd learned at college, was all, it was nothing to me anymore. I didn't use it. Yeah. And so coming out to France, I had to learn a new language and learn a new way of working basically. And I just felt like I went from up here in terms of like my skill level and everything with construction right down to the bottom of the ladder again. So, and I just wasn't happy. I've got 2 young kids, and I hardly ever saw them, and I wasn't happy in my work. So I just, like I mentioned, I was sat at work. It was about a year ago. So I remember it was kind of January when I first started looking into it, and it was freezing cold. It was snowing at work, and I was sat there just like in my head, like, what am I doing? I'm not happy.
Yeah. How much were you making at your construction again?
So to be honest, I was making like my money wasn't too bad at construction. Like I was making like 5k months in terms of like, so that was like in English pounds, it was like £4,000 roughly per month on average. You know, some months it was a bit better, some months it was a bit worse, but generally speaking, it was about 4k. And in dollars, that's about 5.5, I think, something like that.
Okay, so not too bad that you were working.
No, in terms of money, it was all right. But like I said, it took me 20 years to kind of like earn that wage in a sense.
20 years to get to 5.5.
When I first started off, I was probably earning, it was like £100 a week. So £400 a month, about $500 a month when I first started. That was a long time ago though.
So it took you 20 years to get to that?
Yeah, because I used to work for someone. I never had my own business. So and I was like, it wasn't bad money considering like my position and everything else. That was quite good money to take home after tax and everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I was earning that much, but like my main reason for kind of getting into it was to work remotely and to be able to spend more time with my kids and to see my kids more.
I love it. And I mean, Lewis, usually people who I've been interviewing this past few weeks, past few months, right, is they, also in the community as well, they probably are, one of the guys that's, that had a career already established outside of anything. Some of the guys already just recently graduated college. They just got into workforce, maybe 2 years, 3 years, right? But for you, you were in the workforce for 2 decades, right? And then you had the complete 180 shift on getting into this industry, which is sales, right? How was that like? Because I'm sure it has to be one of the most difficult things that you've done as well, because that's all you've known, right? And, I'm not sure how everybody around you was like. Did they support you? How was that transition like?
So again, like it was something that I just knew I'd had enough of what I was doing. I wasn't happy anymore. And then in terms of like support, luckily for me, like my partner, she's very supportive of what I want to do. And my parents as well. Like obviously I don't live with my parents anymore or anything like that. But when I did tell my parents what I was doing, they were like, you know what, like fair play, go for it. So they were, again, like very supportive. And my mum actually told me, like I was speaking to my mum a few weeks ago and I said, oh, look, this is what I've earned this month. This is what I've earned and I'm working from home. And she said, I'm not going to lie. She said, at first I was a bit worried for you and I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. And I thought it might have been a bit of a scam. She said, but you actually seem a lot happier now. And I can see that you're earning like good money again. Like you're starting to earn what you were earning in the construction. She said, so well done for kind of taking that leap. 100%. And for me, it was like, I just knew I needed to do something before it was too late. Like I'm 36 now. When I joined your program, it was pretty much a year ago, almost to the day. It was the 1st of May, I think I joined. And it took me a while, like, obviously, like you've just mentioned that I spent 20 years in the construction industry. It took me a while to learn everything. And like, I went out and bought a brand new laptop because I didn't know how to use a laptop. Like, so it took me a while to get used to how everything worked in that sense. But I gradually kind of like just, learn, because I knew I wasn't going back to, I knew I wasn't going to go back to the old life. Like, so it was like, I got no option but to learn. So I did. And it took me a little bit longer than some of the others to pick things up, but I'm starting to reap the rewards now, so it was all worth it in the end for sure.
100%. And the best part about this as well is, I know we've had you in a couple offers before. How many offers were you into before we got you into this offer that you're in now?
So this is my 3rd offer. So I was on 2 other offers. Unfortunately, they didn't work out for a couple of reasons. One offer, well, kind of both of them I got burnt on really. One was because it was a brand new startup. And after like 2 months, the guys that started it up just said, we're shutting it down. For reasons that I'm not really sure of. It was just, I think just not very well ran. But like I say, I don't know the full reasons behind it. And then the other offer was the one of the guys like refused to pay me,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. That's like another long story for another
Yeah.
time.
So I won't get into that, but yeah, the guy refused to pay me, and so I've
Yeah,
I've
and then
had to
that's
learn
the
from
thing
that,
with, with high ticket sales, right? It's like, especially at the beginning, you needed to acquire the experience, and you couldn't just like easily transition to this compared to maybe some guys who, you know, had some sales experience or sales background before. So for you, you had to like really go from the ground up and learn how to actually sell and the foundation and how do you even get into this space.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure. Like I've had to learn, a lot, and I've learned a lot about myself in the process, which has
Yeah.
been great. And
No,
in terms of
100%.
like getting burnt on them offers, like unfortunately, you see a lot of offers on Facebook that are these Facebook groups which I joined that
Yeah.
unfortunately are there out there scamming people,
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
it when I got burnt off them first two offers, like it taught me to be a lot more vigilant and a lot
Right.
more like I asked a lot more questions in terms of like the last offer that I got on, which is this one now, and this one's actually working out. So like when I joined this offer now, I asked a lot more questions. I made sure I went through different processes to kind of make sure that I was secure and safe. So it taught me a lot. So I'm not gonna like, it's not a whole bad experience getting burnt.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a good experience too, because it's taught me a
100%,
couple
man.
of other things.
I mean, for there to be light, there needs to be dark, right? So it's kind of like that balance in between. And for you, how was it like going through the hard times and now finally getting into this offer you're in now? How did, the community supported you, and how was it like being inside the community in the Renaissance Closer?
Yeah, so one thing again, like one thing I noticed is when I was on them bad offers and when I was going through bad times, it was because I wasn't active enough within the community. And I would kind of like wallow in my own like my own self-pity.
Yeah.
And then once I would get on the phone to like yourself or Matt or someone else and ask for a bit of help and not be so stubborn, you guys would give me help, and then that would give me the confidence then to get on more calls. And once I got on more calls, and you get the support of the community more because you're showing that you're willing to kind of learn. So the community's there for you, but as long as you're kind of willing to give back and put back into the community as well,
Right.
So 100%. I found it very helpful.
Yeah, 100%. And for you, right? Because I know you were looking to a bunch of other stuff as well. What made you say, "Hey, I want to join, Renaissance Closer instead of the other communities out there"?
So for me, like a massive part of it was like you do a lot of like mindset coaching.
Yeah.
And that was a huge part of it for me, because at that particular time when I started getting into everything, that was one thing I started to like learn a lot more about, like, your thought process and your mindset and vision boards and this and all that, like all that kind of like positive energy. And so it just like, it resonated with me, and it kind of, tied into exactly like my thought process as well.
Right.
It just, everything kind of like, you came at the right time of when I was like looking into all that stuff, and it just them two things kind of gelled, and I was like, this is definitely the right choice for me. There wasn't so much about that you teach about the sales and the setting and this and that. Like it was, the mindset thing was the thing that really stood out for me.
I love it. And I'm curious, Lewis, do you think, like, let's say someone was kind of like in a similar position as you before, right? Let's say they were working in construction. They feel like they're stuck. They're tired of their job. Would you recommend them to get into what you did, or how would you recommend them to,
like honestly, for me, I'd never go back to that life now. Never. So I mean, if there are people out there that are in a similar position to myself, where they think, I need to change what to do, like if this appeals to you and this kind of ticks the boxes in terms of like financial freedom, time freedom and all those kind of things, do it. Like I said, I'm 36 now. I was 35 when I joined the community.
Yeah.
So like, it's not too late. You know, most of the guys in the community are, you know, like early 20s on average. So I'm definitely the oldest by far, but I would say to anyone, yeah, it's not too late. Just go out. If you want to change, go out and do it. Because
100%.
yeah, you never, otherwise you're going to stay stuck in the same place, like being miserable, being unhappy, and never knowing, you know?
Yeah. What was it like, you know, like what would you tell them, like, okay, this is the first step that you should take if you were to, you know, tell them they're from complete scratch, same thing. They just quit their job, got a couple months in savings.
I would, me personally, I already done it anyway, but me personally, I would invest in a mentor like yourself.
Yeah.
Or someone with a community that is going to, you know, help out with people, like-minded people or experienced people inside that community that can help you out. Because like I said, I was starting from scratch. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Had I not invested, then I would still be kind of trying to figure my way out now, and then probably invested 6 months down the line when I knew I really, really needed it, and just wasted 6 months time. So
I've done that. Yeah. So I've done that myself. So it's not fun when you're like, feel like I'm at the same spot for 6 months and you're not progressing. Yeah. And for
if
you,
you value your time, if you value the time, then you can always earn that money back. The money that you invest, you can always earn it back. But you can't ever get your time back. So
1,000%.
I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, Lewis, like for you, man, like you invested. This is your first time investing into a program or a mentorship, right? I know we had a couple trouble too on getting you onboarded, but because of the banking and stuff like that. But for you, what was that feeling like? And looking back, you know, looking backwards now, like how was it like? What was the impact of you investing into yourself was?
For me, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit cautious at first because I'd never done it before. So I was like, is this a scam? Is it going to work? You know, all the questions that you do ask.
100%.
And I was, you know, there's no problem with people doing that because if you're, especially first time investing, if you're investing in something that you don't know, you've got all those questions. And I really wasn't sure. But I kind of come to the conclusion that if I don't do it, like I need to do it with someone.
Yeah.
I will need to invest at some point. If I don't do it, then I'm just going to be stuck. And I have a bit of money in the bank that, what am I going to do? I'm going to spend it on something else anyway.
Right.
So it's like I kind of took a chance in the hope that it would work out, and it has.
Yeah.
So, it is a bit daunting. But I was, after I made that investment, I was like, once I knew that my money was in, I was like, right, I have to make this work now. Because otherwise 100%. I would have just like, it's just like burning money in a sense. So once I knew my money was in, then I knew that, right, if I don't work, you know, if I don't earn that money back, then it's just going to be wasted and it's going to be my fault, you know. Because once I was in the community and I saw the value you provided and I saw everything kind of there set out for me, it was ultimately down to me then to put the work in and make sure I ask the questions and go out and do what I've been taught, basically.
Right. No, 100%, man. So that's the main focus is you have everything laid out, right? Just the way I've laid it out in the programs, 12 weeks, right? That's the main focus. And for you, bro, like, let's say if someone was kind of like somewhat on the edge, kind of like, I don't know if I should join or not. Maybe I should try this out myself first. And for you, what was the deciding factor to like, I'm not sure yet, it might be a scam? What are the criteria that you looked for to say, okay, you know what, this is valid, I need to get into this now instead of like trying this on my own?
I think it was when I had the call because I had, like you mentioned, I had various problems trying to get the payment over with my bank and stuff. So I actually had calls with yourself and Omero.
Yeah.
And Omero said something to me on one of the calls, and he just basically said, look, you can go, because I said, I'm going to think about it and stuff. And he said, if you want, you can, you know, no problem. But if you just come back in like 6 weeks or 6 months after you've thought about it, he said, you would have just wasted 6 months. So like, and that just kind of hit home with me. I was like, like I'm doing this because I want to, like, I value my time and stuff like that. And it's like, if I go away and just waste time trying to figure everything out on my own, then, you know, then what's that going to do for me? I'm just kind of contradicting myself. So yeah, that was what I think it was just knowing that there was going to be people in there that had experienced things before and just would save me time. It was like a no-brainer really in the end.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, man, for you, right? Like, what's the next steps now? What's the next steps now for you?
Well, so I've been setting on the offer for 3 months. I was the only setter. We've just recently kind of taken on someone else in the last week. And the guy that I'm running the offer, like that I'm basically running his DMs, he's asked me to train the other setter and kind of manage him. And he said that once I get the other setter trained and managed him, then he's going to transition me into closing. So the next step is to start closing. And again, I'm pretty much ready for it now. You know, I've ran mock calls with other guys in the group.
Yeah.
I've watched the videos. I've jumped on all the other calls with you guys and stuff. So that is the next step for me. That was always the kind of end goal. So it's just about making it happen this year, really. So that's then just keep getting experience, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
100%. I love it, man. And again, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I think the one thing I really respect about you, and I think, is you having the humility and the guts to take a risk on yourself, and being at your age and still being open to learn, right? And especially to someone like me, right? I'm way younger than you, right? And you having the ability to ask the questions and even being honest with me when you're struggling, right? And what you need help with. I think that's one of the unique characteristics that you have that got you where you're at now. And I'm sure there's more. And this is just the beginning, man. I mean, we got to do, another interview once you're hitting those 10K months. And I know for a fact that you'll be there soon.
Yeah, but I'm very confident that they're not too far away, you know.
100%.
It's funny because it took a while, but now I'm starting to get used to things. Like everything's just speeding up now, you know.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get faster and faster, especially now as well. And I know you're starting to start help under your offer to manage the setters as well. And once you're able to kind of get used to that, right, you'll have more leverage, more experience in your portfolio, and you can leverage that to the other new offer that you have. But yeah, man,
sure.
I appreciate you so much, Lewis. And
I appreciate you.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys find something valuable into this video. And as always, be a creator, not a consumer. Create something today that will inspire you and others. Peace out.